Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 22 I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here trials of each series.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. 2002
Bushtucker Bonanza. None of us knew what to expect back in 2002, the inception year of I'm a Celeb.
It's terrible.
But we were quickly enlightened and horrified. Uri Geller was the first celeb to ever take on the eating challenge known as the Bushtucker Bonanza.
Oh!
We watched as he ate bugs of every kind, and did so with very little complaints. The highlight had to be the rather unique way he tackled having to eat a witchetty grub. Whichever works, works. For his troubles, he was the first celebrity eliminated. Ouch. 2003, filling your pants.
It's up to you. You've got to pour them in. Bash,
Do you want to go
do you want to go for it?
Can you not pour them in?
No, you've got it. We can't do it. It's over to you.
No matter which series it is, there's always that one celebrity that sparks the interest of the general public. Whether they will their guts out at challengers, paint themselves as the bad guy, or are just unlucky. There's always someone who finds themselves put up multiple times to face the trials. John Fashanu was one such person.
Ow!
Alright, these are night crawlers, they're worms.
In this instance, the former footballer found himself getting rather up close and personal with some bitey fellows, on account of having to fill his pants to the brim with several different bugs. Good on Fash for getting as far as he did.
Oh, get me out of here, I'm a celebrity.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come in, let's come in.
Straight in, safety team.
2004, Hellholes.
What's that? Something grabbing hold of me.
Whether he was putting on a front or was legitimately terrified, this former royal household servant made some rather unique noises in the midst of this particular trial. In order to earn meals for the camp, Paul Burrell had to stuff his hands into various holes, each of which had some rather nasty surprises waiting for him.
Bite me. Whatever you are, don't bite me.
From insects to rats to all other kinds of lovely creatures, the fear of the unknown and having to feel around in it was a bit too much for Posh Paul to take. Thus, those wacky expressions.
Oh my God, it's rat!
2005, Lily Pad Lottery.
Here goes nothing. Good luck.
Some trials aren't exactly terrifying. In fact, they look kind of fun. What this trial lacked in fear factor, it made up for with absolute belly laughs. In Lily Pad Lottery, the celeb who took the challenge would have to leap from each floating platform to collect stars. Sounds simple enough.
You too. Well done.
Well done.
That's your first one.
Except the celebrity in question was Jimmy Osmond, who made it look like the most difficult task in human history. The hilarity of it all made it stand out from your typical Bushtucker trial.
Watch the star.
2006, Scarioki.
So come on, let me.
Mylene Klass made headlines for some rather revealing shower escapades during her time in the jungle, but there was nothing raunchy about her final Bushtucker trial. The hearsay vocalist got to stretch her vocal cords once again inside a custom recording booth, where she had to perform 5 classic cheesy pop songs. The catch? She would have to sing with the likes of fish guts and other twisted jungle treats raining down on her.
Tragedy! Oh, controlling, you got no soul, it's tragedy!
Kudos to her for managing to bellow them out, but we'll stick to drunk karaoke.
I don't want to look. I don't want to look at what's fallen on me.
2007, In Grave Danger.
All good?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we might be including this one just because it's so fun to see Katie Hopkins suffer. Katie was buried underground in a very tight space until eventually bugs were introduced into the equation. Horrible stuff, right? Well, it only got worse from there. Katie's early grave was hoisted into the air and she got a full view of the terrifying sight below. We'd say we wouldn't wish this on our worst enemies, but Hopkins, maybe. 2008, Bushtucker Bonanza. Oh my. As one of 3 finalists, George Takei found himself in the rather unfortunate position of having to chow down on one of the worst eating challenges the series has ever produced.
I'll try to eat all 5.
Okay, you're going to do your best.
Good.
He was presented with a whole assortment of foul foods, from the likes of witchetty grubs, locusts, cockroaches, and perhaps worst of all, a kangaroo penis.
Well done.
Well done, George.
Great stuff.
Well done.
Was that going to stop Mr. Sulu? Not on your life. Going as far as to remove more delicious alternatives, he practically devoured the repulsive feast.
Skin's tough.
There's a lot of tune in this one.
2009, Katie Price's Entrance Challenge.
What the hell's in there? Balls in it and salt.
Making her return to the jungle, this former reality star was probably hoping she could make a second splash following her sensationalist behaviour the last time she went down under on I'm a Celebrity. As it happened, she would instead end up making a splash into some rather vile water as part of her entrance challenge.
Oh my god.
While wading through putrid liquids looks like a horrible experience, given how she would end up quitting not long after, we would also say that it's an oddly fitting mini-trial. 2010, School Dinners.
It's got a nickname as well. Vomit fruit. It does taste like puke.
In spite of having to face some grueling tasks during his time in the jungle, Shaun Ryder, the Happy Mondays vocalist and potty mouth, took it in stride and never backed down no matter what was put in front of him. Case in point, when he took on the dreaded eating challenge.
What's that?
Facing off against fellow campmate and famous fainter Gillian McKeith, Shaun managed to munch down a whole slew of disgusting foodie concoctions. These included cheese fruit, bull's tongue, an aged duck egg, and even a crocodile's penis. As expected, Shaun smashed it.
And you've done it.
2011. Can't sleep a wink. Ever had trouble sleeping? Well, it could be a hell of a lot worse.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
The group of celebs had to lay down in their beds, if you can even call them that, as creatures of all types entered. Some contestants clearly handled it way better than others.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
That being said, some celebs had it a lot worse. All this at 4 AM in the morning. It's no wonder so many dropped out so quickly.
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
2012, Savage Sewer.
Oh my f***ing God.
It's fair to say that Made in Chelsea star Hugo Taylor is used to the finer things in life, so we can guess a journey on all fours through a sewer pipe filled with Australia's most gnarly creatures was both a humbling and harrowing experience. But hey, at least it was fun for the rest of us to watch.
Oh my God, did he just try and bite me?
We all knew that Hugo was used to dealing with thin-skinned reptiles back in Chelsea, but having to fend off and dodge snakes and more in such close quarters probably came as a shocking change of pace. 2013, Submerged.
It is in there. You've got to put your hand in and feel around. There will be a star in there.
One of the funniest contestants on I'm a Celebrity has to be Towie's Joey Essex. Whilst it's tempting to go with his trial, where he could barely put together a simple shape, we have to go for Submerged because of how well designed it was. Water filled the structure as Joey had to find stars whilst also coming face to face with eels, crabs, and worse. His delayed reaction to seeing what little creatures he was swimming with was priceless.
Oh my God!
1.5 minutes gone, Joey.
Man.
What is it?
Crocodile.
Joey did a pretty bang-up job of the challenge and kept his cool, despite the panic-inducing issue of the ever-rising water levels.
Mud crabs in there with the star.
2014, The Vile Vineyard.
White Zinfan Hell.
Nothing beats a good wine tasting with the chums, but these particular celebs would rather do without. This trial saw the team of Melanie, Tinchy, Jimmy, and Foggy chug down some of the most disgusting blends you could imagine. Don't let those pretty colours fool you. They ranged from anything like blended camel testicles to sheep's eyes.
Go on, side, Pete.
Wait.
Oh, absolute.
As you can imagine, these beverages taste like pure hell, and the looks on their faces tell the whole story.
Well done, mate.
Good work.
No, it's not well done.
2015, Fern's biggest challenge. The bravery of Fern McCann can never be questioned after this terrifying ordeal. The Towie star had to take on possibly the worst eating challenge the show has ever seen when she was presented with a live spider. Not just any spider, this was a living, meaty water spider. She had to build up her courage, but the spider eventually went down the hatch. Though she was pleased to get past the challenge, others were not, as I'm a Celeb received over 500 complaints from Ofcom.
Oh my God.
2016, Hell Hollow.
Right, you're filling a coffin with water.
It's not just water that's going to be in there.
Oh, good.
Claustrophobic? Well, this won't be the challenge for you then. Holmes Under the Hammer star Martin Roberts was to lie down in what was essentially a shallow grave, collecting stars as it slowly filled with water. But not just water, of course.
It's not as bad as it looks.
Snakes began to enter the coffin one by one.
There are now a total of 40 jungle pythons and 2 albino pythons in there with you.
A few might be fine, but Martin had to face a whopping total of 58 snakes of all sizes inside the box. How on earth he kept his cool, we have no idea. 2017, Toxic Trauma.
There's toxic tin popping cockroaches on you there.
If we were to rank the I'm a Celeb trials on how disgusting they look, this would be a strong contender for number 1. Both Toff and Jamie had different rancid objectives here. Toff was to collect keys from compartments full of creatures. She would then open a vile container full of entrails and whatnot, which would be dumped on Jamie. It must have been conceived by a truly devious mind.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big one.
Really, well done, that's a good one.
Left some entrails there, hanging out.
But of course, we couldn't keep our eyes off the gruesome display. 2018, The Sting-Off. What happens when I'm a Celeb meets X Factor? Probably the funniest trial of all time. Poor Emily Atack was screaming even before she and Malik Thompson-Dwyer even got started.
Stay calm, Emily, stay calm.
The celebs were encased in a giant X in which disgusting creatures were introduced. They then had to sing popular songs with their lips held open whilst being eaten alive.
He said,
Their campmates would have to try and decipher what each song was. While we commend their efforts in this perilous situation, we have to give major props to Fleur East, who did an amazing job of guessing each song correctly.
Wow, we're going to get you out. Emily, breathe. You're fine. You're fine. Well done. That was brilliant.
2019, Jungle Love Island. Another crossover challenge here, this time with Love Island. So as you can guess, this one was very steamy. But for as much as some of the sleazier Love Island contestants may disgust you, nothing even comes close to how gross this is.
Oh, quick pass in there.
That's good.
There's crickets on your head.
The celebs had to work with pigs, well, testicles here, passing the dripping chunks of meat to one another with their mouths.
Well done, James. On to Roman. 3 in there.
But it couldn't be that easy, right? They also had bugs dropped on them for good measure. Because, of course they did.
That's it! That's it! You did it! You did it! You did it! Well done!
2020, Celebrity Cyclone. While it wasn't the first year this contraption was introduced, it was definitely the most memorable. The aim of the game is to hold the gold stars while crossing a slippery surface in knightly garbs. And Abergele's Grick Castle was the perfect location for it to take place.
Come on, Jay! Get up there!
There was trips and tumbles as the stars were pelted with all sorts of flying objects. They tried all sorts of techniques to brave the storm, but in the end, it was Vernon who got the furthest.
Here he goes! Whoa!
Not a bad way to mark the 400th I'm a Celeb challenge. 2021, Fill Your Face. If there's one trial that is just straight up torture, it's this dreaded dome.
That's maggots to start with. Then we have beetles.
Danny won the nation's hearts in 2021 during his stint in the camp, and a lot of love comes from how well he took on this challenge. The Emmerdale star wore the helmet as it was filled with creepy crawlies, each one more disgusting than the last.
Wow, it's intense, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the ghastly creatures crawling into each and every inch they could find on his face, Danny held back the screams and came out victorious.
That's it!
Well done! Okay.
2022. Horrifying Heights. As the years have gone by, the trials on I'm a Celebrity have become more and more elaborate, and Horrifying Heights has to be its peak so far. This sinister structure was tackled by Babatunde, who had to collect stars as it spun in the air.
It's doable, absolutely doable, this.
To make things even worse, he had to do so as rain poured violently from above. The challenger also wasn't allowed to crawl to each target, which meant that they'd be at a much higher risk of slipping off and plummeting below.
4 minutes gone now!
Why do I have to go up a second tier?
For any celebrity with a fear of heights, this would have been an absolute nightmare, but Babatunde tackled it like a champ.
Step off for it to count!
Yes!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.